You were very concerned about this team. Skip thought maybe you were overreacting. You've had a night to sleep on it. How or why are you so worried about LeBron, and are you still?
Well, I'm very, very worried about LeBron because I'm tired of seeing LeBron lose finals championship rounds. I don't like the fact that he has 4 NBA finals losses on his resume, especially when you only have 2. I don't want you to be a sub-500 dude in NBA Finals appearances. And he's on the verge of being 2-5. As Skip so eloquently pointed out on many, many occasions, a legitimate argument could have been made that he should be 1-4 or 1-5 now as we speak because of the 7-game series they ultimately won against the San Antonio Spurs because he got rescued in Game 6. Let's understand what all of that is about. Let's go from there. I look at LeBron James. I think he's one of the greatest players, if not the greatest of this generation. I wouldn't say the greatest because I think about Kobe and those 5 rings, and I can't negate that. But what I would tell you is this. When you look at his greatness, what are we going to be talking about? I understand that right now they're 39 games in. Last year, after 39 games, they were 19-20. They were a game under 500. Now they're 28-11. There's a 9-game improvement from where they were last year. I get all of that. The flip side to it, however, is that LeBron James has transcended all of that stuff. We no longer care really about what LeBron James is doing in the regular season. We barely even care about what he's doing in the postseason because he's been to 5 straight NBA Finals. If there was a formidable 4 in the East or if he was on one of the teams in the West, then we'd be more concerned and alerted by it. But barring any kind of catastrophe, we all know that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to end up in the NBA Finals. So the question begs, are you going to be able to win it? And when you think about what transpired the other night, at no time throughout his life, according to my understanding, has LeBron James ever been down by 43 points, ever been on a team that was trailing by 43 points. They got ramrodded by the Golden State Warriors. They seemed ill-equipped to deal with the onslaught. Now, obviously, on Christmas Day, when they played against Golden State, Skip, they slowed the game down. They made it ugly. A play here or there, a better performance by LeBron James in the last minute of that game on Christmas Day could have brought a different result. But what happened on the other night when I was at that game was something that was entirely different and, dare I say, leaning towards normalcy when it comes to the Golden State Warriors. Harrison Barnes was in the lineup this time around. He was hitting shots. Iguodala was hitting shots. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson were both hitting shots. They were creating open shots for other people. And then I'm looking at the matchups. Well, you have a situation where Kyrie Irving had a difficult time guarding Steph Curry. Is that plausible? You're damn right it's plausible that that could happen again. Kevin Love couldn't guard Draymond Green. Is that plausible? You're damn right that's plausible. When you look at it, Timothy Mozgov, he wasn't going to do but so much for you, which is why he wasn't starting. What could he do for you on this level? It's limited because of the brand of play and the style of play that's allowed to be implemented in today's NBA game. So when we look at all of those things and then we look at the coaching, it's still question marks about Blatt. Sure, he tried to implement something, but we didn't notice it. This Princeton offense, where was it? Why did we see so much one-on-one? Is that plausible? With J.R. Smith on this squad, you're damn right it's plausible. If Iman Shumpert, we know he can defend. Is he going to miss shots? You're damn right he could miss shots. If LeBron James trying to slow the game down and post you up down low, but they have quickness of foot on defense and they suffocate LeBron and force somebody else to beat you, and they can't do that. Is that plausible? Yes, it is plausible. I saw nothing that said to me, this is an aberration. This is not going to happen again. Yes, it most certainly could happen again. Even JR getting himself ejected. Yes, it could happen again. So when I look at it, all I'm saying is I'm not looking at the regular season. I don't care if Cleveland wins 60 or 65 games. I don't care if they get to the NBA Finals because I fully anticipate that they will. The measuring stick for LeBron and the Cavs are you going to win the chip? And we see at least 2 teams right now who would be decided favorites over the Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals appearances. It would be the San Antonio Spurs and the Golden State Warriors. That is my concern, and that is why I don't believe that I'm hitting a panic button. I'm hitting a realistic button.
Okay. I hear you. I agree with you. To your point, let's keep in perspective. LeBron is only 31 years of age, but this is his 13th NBA season. And for the record, for perspective, LeBron has already played more NBA minutes than Magic, Isaiah, Barkley, Jerry West, Steve Nash, Clyde Drexler. I can go on and on. He's 29th all-time already in minutes played. You know and I know, as big and powerful as this man is, he takes a beating on a nightly basis when he takes the ball to the basket. And he is the equivalent now of the NFL running back, where he's taken a pounding for a long time, and it's starting to wear on his body. My point is, let's keep this also in perspective, though. Last year at this point, they were 19-20, and the sky was falling. In the finals last year, as you well remember, the Cleveland Cavaliers were up 2-1 on Golden State with Game 4 set to go in LeBron's house in Cleveland. So they got to that point last year where I thought they should have closed that deal. But I agree with you, something needs to dramatically change. Now, I can only, unless we're going to change Blatt, that's what I would change. We talked about that yesterday. But if we're just going to change approach, LeBron is going to have to accept this team is by far at its best when he plays not just point forward, point guard. When he is driving to dish, this team is much better because you know and I know they have their snipers. And when LeBron can distribute and sort of initiate the offense, guess who gets to play two guard? Kyrie Irving. He is the baddest on that team offensively right now. You know it and I know it. The guy who needed to go off to counteract Steph is Kyrie because he can match Steph in spectacular on a shot-by-shot basis, but you have to get him off. You have to let him get in a flow and a rhythm. That's up to LeBron to do that. The other night, it got slow and tedious because LeBron was trying to pound the ball into the middle and go 1-on-3, and he couldn't pull it off. That's what happened in that game, and it went from bad to worse. So he's going to have to change his approach because unless Kyrie's not 100% healthy-wise right now, then he's got to be the scorer on this team, and he wasn't the other night.
Well, listen, we're talking about a couple of things. First of all, we're talking about ability. We're talking about perimeter shooting. We're talking about free throw shooting, all of that working in Golden State's favor. We're talking about coaching, even with Luke Walton on the other sideline, clearly being helped along by Steve Kerr as well. They've got an edge there. And then psyche, because there are so many question marks. You've got LeBron James swearing they're not ready. You've got Kevin Love saying everybody needs to look in the mirror, and it starts with that guy right over there talking about LeBron James. You've got questions about what mix and matches will work. And you don't have any of these question marks about Golden State. Where Cleveland is trying to go, there are at least two teams in the Western Conference who have been there, who have done that, and they both have beaten LeBron James along the way and are incredibly familiar with what he brings to the table. So it's just one of those situations. I don't think it's pushing the panic button because I am looking at LeBron James and championships. I am assuming that everything else will fall in line. It's that championship round that I'm concerned about. I'm not very confident in Cleveland right now because the kind of questions that you have about them, you don't have about champions. You have about guys who want to be champions.
Fair enough. Let's leave it there. And up next, we stay in the NBA. Coming up, ESPN.com released their top centers of all-time rankings. To skip it.